Today I'm going to tell you the story of RainbowCrow. Once upon a time, when the land was still young, a great blizzard went over the land, and all of the animals were covered in layers upon layers of snow. They didn't know what to do. They've never seen this white, fluffy substance before. It was so cold and wet. It covered the earth in inches and soon feet until even the mighty elk were submerged in it and could no longer walk. The land would freeze over if nothing was done. So all of the animals went to consult the wise owl. He too agreed that if nothing was done, the earth would soon perish in a giant white blanket of snow, and nothing would be living. Unfortunately, consulting with the snow spirits was out of the question, so they decided to go straight to the source, the Creator. All the animals discussed who to send. At first they thought the coyote because of his crafty intelligence, but he wasn't trustworthy, so they skipped over. They thought, well, perhaps the turtle. He's trustworthy. Unfortunately, though, he's much too slow, and by the time he reached to them, they would be submerged in tons of snow. Finally, an animal stepped up, an animal named RainbowCrow. He was the most beautiful of all the animals. His feathers shone like the rainbow. All the colors of the earth shone within his feathers, and he had the most beautiful voice of all of the animals. They agreed to let RainbowCrow go. He traveled far, 3 to 4 days' time, through winds, blizzards, storms, not able to rest in any place, until he finally came to the place of the Creator, who had been sleeping for a long time. He couldn't wake him up, so he sang him a song. Because his voice was so beautiful, he wound up waking up the Creator, and he was so pleased that he heard him out. Crow explained that the world was being thrown into an eternal white abyss, and asked him to help. But the Creator said that the spirits of the snow could not be consulted because they were their own beings. But he said, you know what? I will think of something to help you guys, something called fire. It will warm the earth, but you must take it back quickly, because if you don't, it will burn you up before you come home. So Crow took the fire, and he went as fast as he could. He traveled far and wide, and he came to the place where his animal friends lived, but by the time he made it, the fire had burned down the stick and started to burn his feathers. His voice was hoarse, and he was being charred. By the time he reached the floor, he had been turned a sooty, dark charcoal black, and his voice was no longer beautiful. The animals went straight away to taking away the snow from the land and melting everything, and soon spring was upon us again. The animals were happy. Owl was so pleased. The coyote could now feed his family. There was food. The turtle no longer had to stay in his hole. But Crow was terribly sad. He was now the color of black. He no longer could sing. He felt ugly and dismembered. But the Creator came to him afterwards, and he told him not to fret, because all of the animals of the land would forever honor him for his sacrifice. And the Creator made a deal with him. He said that because of your sacrifice, I will make your meat taste like coal and charcoal, so that nothing will want to eat you. And I will make you so dark a creature that nothing will want to cage you, and you will be forever free. But to remind you of what you gave up for humankind and animal kind, I will shine your feathers with the colors of the rainbow, so when you flap in the sun, people will always be reminded of what you did for them. And that is the story of RainbowCrow.